Welcome to Side Notes. We're out and about. We're at the third annual Canadian Music Urban Conference. I'm here with the new head of A&R Music Universal Canada. Thank you so much, Rich, for your time.
No worries, yeah, thank you for having me.
And your name is Rich Castillo.
Yes, right, yeah, my name's Rich Castillo. I've just moved to Canada recently with my wife and little boy to join the Canadian Universal team to try and spice it up a bit and bring some new approach to some of the records we're making.
You have an interesting history. 2001, you graduate from college, you go join a band. Next thing you know, you're kicked out of the band, but you became the manager of the band.
Yeah, so basically, I was in a band. I left college and joined the band and got some experience touring around Europe and that. And I wasn't actually a very good singer at all, sort of thing. So I know my strengths and my weaknesses. Singing was not my strength, but I was very good at organising studios and getting things to happen for people. So the band sort of turned around and said, why don't you get involved in the management? So I was like, yeah, great stuff. I always saw myself as being in the music business eventually, so it was a nice segue to doing it.
You formed an organization in 2007, and originally you only had about 20 to 30 people showing up to your shows. What was it like when you first started that? I know at the end you're filling coliseums.
Yeah, basically, we started off, I started managing a band that were very successful in the UK. We started off doing shows to like 10 and 20 people, and then we went all the way up to selling out arenas. And the transition and the journey that we went on was just amazing, and it taught me more about the music business than anything else has. The emphasis on that was more about the struggle and the journey and the perseverance and not giving up on something that you believe in, and that taught me all of that for that experience. That's over like a 4-year period, and that really set me up for my longer term career, which is as a music executive.
With up-and-coming artists nowadays, they're really struggling. They want to know what is it, the little thing they have to do to make it. Talk a little bit about the struggles that you went through.
Yeah, in terms of the struggles, I mean, when I first got to London, I'm from a place called Nottingham in the Midlands of England. And when I first got to London, we were living on around £20, which is about $40-ish a week. We made it work. We were 5 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment that we all just bunked up and made it work, because we knew for us to exist in that space, we had to be in London, and we had to really suffer to do that. And I think any success is the sum of a lot of people's work and a lot of people's struggles. And when we look at the charts at the moment, we look at all the big executives and the big sort of music people that are doing well at the moment, that didn't come overnight. A lot of these guys that have been in the game for a long time are guys that have really suffered to get there, and that have really sort of sacrificed a lot of things to try and fulfill their dreams. And I think anyone that's successful, anyone that's really good at what they do, is there because they work hard. My mum used to say a saying that hard work will always beat talent if talent doesn't work hard.
And right now, with the digital age coming in, we have the YouTube, we have Twitter, we have all these different social outlets. I know that we've moved away from putting CDs out there, putting LP records out there. What does the record industry, as we're evolving, how are you still there for the artists to help them to build their careers? The record business and the record label are still doing what we used to do, and that's offering artists support, offering them direction, and marketing their records, helping them with infrastructure, allowing them to access things that they wouldn't normally be able to do off their own back. So we can help them with studio, we can help them recording, we can shoot videos, we can market their stuff, we can take their things to retail still. Even though everything is pretty much digital, retail still exists, physical retail still exists, and it's not over yet. It still accounts for a large percentage of sales. So we offer an infrastructure. I always like to think of it as accommodating talent rather than creating talent. So we find things that are amazing, that are already started, that have an idea, and then we just add a massive muscle to it and to get it moving properly. With the Canadian Urban Music Conference happening right now, is it outlets like this that you're starting to find, the diamond in the rough in regards to artists?
It's really important. These events are so essential, because the Drakes of this world that are out there and the Weekends of this world that are out there are all from local. They're all local talent from here. Yes, they've gone to America and they've gone to other places, but they're based here and they're from here. And there's a hotbed of young talent here that are not being exposed in the way that they should be, and I'm hoping that's going to change.
And then for, if upcoming artists, they want to contact you, the best thing to do is probably through the Universal website.
Yeah, through the Universal website is probably the best way to do it. If you go on the website, there'll be an A&R section. You should be able to get through to us via that. Or drop me I'm on Twitter as well. I am Rich Castillo on Twitter, so you can follow me or message me via Twitter as well.
Looking back over everything, starting from college to where you're at right now, through all the struggles and everything, what is the one message you want to leave to all the artists that not only have made it, but even are up and coming?
The one thing I would like, great music never changes. Great music is always going to be great music, and I think if you have great music and are able to have songs that connect with people, you have the ability to have success.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm here with Charles Murray from Benjamin Verde. Thank you, Charles.
Thanks for having me.
One thing that your organization does, that you're helping up-and-coming artists in regards to helping them with funding. You want to talk a little bit about that, how you started, and the kind of artists that you're helping at this time?
Well, we started out in 2006, primarily as a marketing consulting firm, but we realized that, there's something broken in the system, in the Canadian entertainment system, but we couldn't quite put our finger on it. So after a couple of years, it took about 8 years, we realized that, it's the grant system. We have this amazing system where we're able to take, public funds and invest it into the arts. However, it doesn't always go to the most worthy, right? So we said, well, why not open it up, make it private, but open it up to the public where the turnaround time isn't 6 to 9 months, and they don't have to the artists, don't have to put their projects on hiatus, and fingers crossed, hopefully they're approved for the grant. So they can now actually come directly to us, and we can broker the financing for these entry-level and emerging artists. So long gone are the days where, you sort of have to sit at home and wait for, the record label to knock on your door. The internet has leveled the playing field, and with the correct marketing and promotion strategies, these artists are now able to get in front of the riches of the world, the new head of A&R at Universal Canada, and other, noteworthy executives, and they're now able to interact with them. They can get their product in front of these people in a timely manner instead of it taking 2 or 3 years. So that is the general gist of what we're doing right now.
What are some major artists that you're actually helped, right from the beginning to they're just breaking out and they're starting to become real famous here in Canada, that you can actually sit there going, I helped that person?
Well, what we strive to do is sort of be anonymous to a certain degree, right? Whereas the grant systems, they require that, you sort of put their logo at the front. We're saying you own your masters. You own your intellectual property, right? If you'd like to, shout us out, that's fine, but they're under no obligation to. This is for them. This is for the arts. This is for the individual artists, for them to, aspire in their career. In terms of artists, we're working with a couple of artists, J. Rome out of Toronto and Yana Ray out of Saskatchewan. So local and from the prairies, but we like to concentrate on Canada first and our Canadian content, empower that. And I say this time next year, give me about 9 months, 12 months, you should see them. They should be making some real major waves on television and on radio.
We also looking at urban music. Are there other genres that your company is involved with that's helping in regards to Canadian artists?
Canadian artists first, right? We're from Canada. We have to support our homegrown talent first. And in terms of developing the talent here, we have to sort of provide that platform and encourage them, empower them, get them in front of the right faces and the right ears and eyes so that we can build the infrastructure. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need in Canada.
In regards to your organization, are you helping people from other different genres? We're talking urban music, country music, all these different genres. Is that what you want to start helping out with the Canadian artists?
Canadian artists first. Urban music, I think, is classified as a popular demographic, right? Country's urban, dance is urban, opera's urban to that demographic. So it's how you conceive that word or construe that word, urban. We help everyone from gospel to Bollywood, opera, Latin, reggae, soca, classical. As long as it's entertainment related, as long as it's art related, and it's gonna impact the city, impact the country, the nation, and put us in the forefront, we're here to help.
Your website, real quick.
www.benjaminverde.com, and you can also go to www.vxco.net.
With the internet right now, we're going to the digital age, real more heavy, YouTube, Twitter. How do you see the Canadian music scene changing, and how do you think that the world around us, other nations like United States, the UK, are affecting what's going on here?
I think the internet has leveled the playing field. I think historically artists had to sort of jump the border and go south, but now you can stay where you are in your own backyard and connect with someone in Germany, in France, anywhere in the world, via email, via Skype, Dropbox, whatever you want to do, whatever platform. We're all neighbors now. The global market is now, your farmer's market. So I think that it's leveled the playing field. We're now neighborly. We can communicate much clearer, and it's definitely going to assist the whole movement of the Canadian infrastructure.
Where do you see your organization actually, let's say in 5 years' time, in regards to helping the Canadian music scene? Where do you see yourself being?
Right beside, if not slightly ahead of the current grant system. I think at some point in time, the powers that be will have to realize that the times have changed, and we need a different way to approach funding our arts. The U.S., every other country, continent on the planet has figured it out except for us. We need to catch up, and we're in the midst of catching up, and in 5 years we should be on pace. Historically, we've been about 20 years behind the U.S. Hopefully in the next 5 years, my friend, we should be on pace, if not slightly ahead of that.
Thank you so much for your time, Charles.
Thank you for having me.